The views and opinions of this broadcast do not reflect the views and opinions of Armed Media, New Productions and its affiliates. Enjoy the show.
I'm a dangerous man with some money in my pocket. Keep up. So many pretty girls around me and they're waking up the rocket. Keep up. Why you mad? Fix your face. Ain't my fault they all be jacking. Keep up. Players only. Come on, put your pinky rings up to the moon.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to New Era Talk. This is Cathy. February 6th, 2018. We had a Super Bowl. Wow. I'm in Minneapolis. For those of you, if you don't know by now, I'm in Minneapolis, Super Bowl City. I had 10 days of craziness. I had, before that, it was just like overwhelming, exhausting, exhilarating. So many people here. I think I told you last time that my good friend Robert Griffith his company Zook's Bag was the sponsor for the zip line, and it was amazing, absolutely amazing. People would get on this thing 20 below zero and go across the frozen Mississippi River. Absolutely crazy. I'll be putting some stuff out on the website or on my Facebook and everything here pretty soon. I had some technical difficulties I guess I'll just admit to it. I had a lot to drink during some of the parties, and I messed up my phone a couple of times, so it was really actually hard for me to get pictures to send. I took a lot, though, so I'll get caught up. But yes, the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, the Vikings weren't there, but they were, in essence, because everybody, all these other players, it was crazy. But the better team won, and that's how that works, because they beat the Vikings, so they better had beat the Patriots. So it's all good. Tonight, I am so excited, though, because we're going to keep talking about Super Bowl. I've got this wonderful man that's going to be joining me who is... He's one of the most interesting people I know, and we've got some really great things to talk about. But Toriano Sanzoni, am I saying it right?
Absolutely.
All right, I love it. Yeah. And it sounds like, I'd have to take you to the hockey rink. But anyway, so I want to introduce you to everybody. I've met Toriano literally on Facebook. There was a girl that I used to work with. Her name is Jennifer, and she had something about you being a dog trainer, and I have a naughty little wiener dog. And I said, I needed you to help me with my wiener. So that's how we started talking. So, it's funny. He's 8 years old now. He's still naughty. I think one of these days, Toriano, I'm embarrassed because you come over.
Days.
It's the owner, not the dog, right?
Right.
But okay, I want to, I just talked about Super Bowl because I'm going to let you tell everybody about you, but you had a very unique dress code for your Super Bowl party, and we'll get into that, but I want you to let everybody know a little bit about you, where you're located, what makes you who you are, and that'll probably explain a little bit more about that Super Bowl party, okay?
It's a huge drum roll.
Here we go.
Thank you. I love you so much. First and foremost, you're amazing. We've been knowing each other for really since 2012 or 13, something like that.
Yes.
Minnesota, my home of the greatest artist alive. And
who I live across the street from. Well, he doesn't live there anymore.
Right.
I do.
Right. Paisley Park. But, wow, so much to talk about tonight.
We
got to talk about Super Bowl. We got to talk about dogs. We got to talk about veterans. We got to talk about just life in general. We got to talk about the art, everything.
Yes. So, okay.
Where do we start?
Well, everything. Let's start at the beginning.
Okay, let's start at the beginning.
Who are you? Why do we want to hear from you?
Am I?
What are you?
Who am I?
And why?
Who I be?
Who be you?
Who be you? I'm Toriano Sanzoni, the Wolf Keeper. Ow!
Oh.
Wolf House, all my Timberwolves out there.
You know what? The
Minnesota
Wolf Keeper and Catwoman. I like it. Wow. There
I like
we go.
it. We need a TV show. Wolf Keeper and Catwoman.
Yeah.
You can purr and I can
Perfect.
howl.
Yes.
I can't do that. I can't do that. I'm gonna try. But no, I've been training dogs for 20 years all around the world, from Berlin all the way to Costa Rica to LA, Brooklyn, Minnesota, you name it, Amsterdam, Zurich, Switzerland, Uganda, Nairobi, Kenya, Nicaragua. You name it, I've been there. I've trained dogs. I was a lead trainer for Caesar Milan, the dog whisperer, who's a fabulous human being. I was one of the trainers for his
crazy.
What? Yeah, I trained at the Dog Psychology Center out there in California. I've had 3 successful dog facilities here in Chicago, and then we're in the process of now revamping everything. We just opened up a beautiful dog facility in Little Village area of Chicago, on 2747 West Cermak, and we're opening another one in Little Italy on 921 South Loomis. They're beautiful. Our specialty is dog yoga.
What? I love it.
Yeah. Are you familiar with dog yoga, Cathy?
I do. I remember
dog yoga is fabulous. Everyone's like, what's your form of training? Our form of training really is energy training, where we really focus on training the trainer to influence the dog through their energy. So dogs invented yoga. I'm sure you know that that's the first thing your little wiener does in the morning.
Yeah. Yes, he does. I see. It's just too funny to me, isn't it? I deserve it. I deserve to have
your wiener stretches in the morning.
My wiener, yes, he takes a very long stretch.
The wiener takes a very long stretch.
Oh God, there's so many wiener jokes we could go. Okay, sorry.
We won't even go there.
Yes, it's too easy.
But you love wiener though.
Yes.
You love your wiener dog. You love your wiener dog.
Kids, don't get the wrong idea.
Don't go there.
Yeah, right.
Keep it clean. Family
right.
Show. So, no, we've been training. I mean, how we'll tie this whole thing in, why I love dogs, why I love vets, is that my father was a Vietnam vet back in 1978, and coming back from Vietnam, and there was no name for the condition they experienced. It was called leave dad the hell alone when they were in a certain mode. And I grew up in a tough household with my mother and my father. They were young, they were in love. He was Italian, she was black. There's this little kid. They would fight, and I would be in my room holding my dog, my Afghan hound named Brock. And then my mother trained dogs during that time period in 1978. So fast forward, I will later realize that dogs were very much influenced by your pheromones that happen and occur when different type of emotions, if you say, happen. So if you're happy, your dog can tell you you're happy based upon the pheromone. That pheromone has a particular scent. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
So if you're sad, if you're crying, that's why a dog might come up to you and muzzle you with their nose or whatever.
Yeah.
So I realized that dogs are medicine. Dogs, they lower your heart rate. They lower your breathing. They soothe you. They offer you a sense of touch. So over the last 20 years, has basically been perfecting of how we can use dogs as a form of medicine to help people.
Okay, so for 20 years, was there a training that you went through to become a trainer? Like, I know you mentioned Caesar Milan, but that wasn't 20 years ago.
No, it's really been about, honestly, a lot of it, was me learning how to be a trainer just intuitively, because I've been around dogs my entire life. Like I said, since I was 5 years old.
Right.
I've been around dogs. So then my formal training came in 2001, actually, after I left Minnesota, after being there for 10 years. I came back to Chicago, changing my career from the music industry, just kind of didn't know what I wanted to do, and then said one day, I want to train dogs. So then I got a job at Chicago Animal Care Control, the local pound. I got a job at a dog daycare, and I also got a job at a place called Chicago Canine Academy.
Wow.
So I worked at 3 I worked at 3 training facilities during 1 year because I said if I'm going to do it, I'm just going to inundate myself, submerge deep into the dog world. And then after about a year and a half, that's when I started my business.
Okay. That's great. So, how did you end up getting into a training with Cesar Millan? I mean, I would think, that's a dog whisperer.
Right.
Pretty famous. TV show, all that good stuff. Are you chosen for that? Do you apply?
How I ended up meeting Cesar I was touring around. There was a time period where I just said, you know what, I want to travel and to see what other trainers are doing around the country and world. So I packed all my stuff, left Chicago 2013, started off, I spent a month in Miami, and I spent a month in Minnesota, then I went to spend a month in Brooklyn, and then I went to California, got to California, traveling around Burbank and Woodland Hills, where else was Canoga Park.
Okay.
And one day my mentor, Ezra McCain, said, hey, you should write The Dog Whisperer. I'm like, write him a letter. I'm like, what? Write him a letter? Why? Like, let him tell me you're out there and go work for him. I'm like, where does this guy have to get tons of mail?
Right.
He's like, no, you really should. And I'm like, all right. I said, okay, fine. I didn't do it. He's like, so every time I talk to him, he's like, did you do it yet? I'm like, no. Like, one day he's like, you know what, let me write the guy a letter. Wrote him a letter, and the most amazing day was one day, I remember I was driving my car over on 400 South Sparks, and I get this phone call, and it was his manager saying, hey, we received this letter from you. Like, we're really interested in you coming out here to work.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, get out of here. So, yeah, that was pretty much, I went out there, interviewed him, met his trainers, met his team, went through like an interview process, and that was it.
That's amazing. And then how long were you with him?
I was out there with him, I would say from that was August 2014 to I don't know, that was February or so, February 2015.
Wow.
Yeah, February 2015. No, it was something like that. June or July of 2014 to February, and then it was then from there, that contract ended, and then I ended up I met so many people I was there working for him. That's when I met tons and tons of Europeans, and then I ended up moving to Berlin, Germany there.
Wow.
And that was really life-changing. I was in Berlin, I was in Mallorca, Spain, I was in Zurich, Switzerland, and I was doing that for 4 months, and I actually had to move to Mallorca, Spain. I was living there, and I came back to Chicago to get my visa and got denied.
Right.
Back in Chicago, June 15th, and that's where I just decided to regroup and reestablish myself here in Chicago.
So the funny thing, whenever I go someplace, out of the country, I always joke around, I wonder if that dog barks with an accent. So do you notice, do they behave any differently in different countries?
Yes, of course, and because that's a great perspective that I have on dogs based on my travel, because there's a difference between dogs growing up in New Orleans versus Minnesota, because New Orleans, they have constant weather. Mm-hmm. Dogs aren't inside. They're yard dogs, a lot of them, especially the big ones. Maybe not the small ones, but because they have access to the weather. They may come in if it's super hot because of the temperature, but my family in New Orleans, their dogs are outside majority of the time. So then you have a dog that's outside majority of the time. A dog that's sleeping outside, typically they sleep less because their sleep is constantly broken up, so they might take 5 minutes to 10 minutes little cat naps, if you will, and then wake up if they hear something, which can make those dogs potentially a lot more irritable towards strangers if they have to wake up to go see what's going on, versus a dog, in the Midwest, they're inside, especially with the weather, we have to bring the dogs inside. They might have a nice comfy bed and sofa.
Yeah,
and they might,
like my wiener, yes.
Yeah, they might hear something totally at the door. Like, hey, why don't you go check that out for me?
Yeah, look at it. Okay. Well, and I also I have a little corgi lab mix too, so I shouldn't, give the wiener all the attention. So
Right.
that just sounded really weird too. But okay.
You better stop making wiener jokes.
I know. It's too easy. But okay. So like in different countries then, I mean, we're obviously, different environments.
Does that make sense? But then you have dogs that are growing up in Costa Rica. In Costa Rica, I mean, there's just dogs just everywhere running straight borderline feral dogs.
Right.
I mean, in comparison to Berlin. In Berlin, well, let me use Zurich, for example. So Zurich, for example, you have to, well, they just dropped the law last year, which I thought was amazing that they had this law. They should have kept it in place because it was a great template for the rest of the world, but you had to be registered as a dog owner with government, and then you would have to take a basic test, and your dog would have to take a basic test, and then you would pay taxes on that dog.
What? Wow.
Yeah. So
oh my gosh. No,
yeah,
I mean,
so imagine,
that's
so those dogs, go ahead.
That's amazing. So they're really well behaved, I bet.
Super well behaved. I mean, you see dogs everywhere. You see them on the plane, you see them in the train, you see them at grocery stores, you see them at restaurants. So you take that dog in comparison to a dog, growing up, here in Chicago, that the person is being pulled down the street by their dog, and versus a dog, walking off leash downtown Berlin, because the requirements or the expectations of the dogs are completely different. So you start then having better quality dogs that are bred, because people require a higher intelligent dog because they can put more obedience on it, and because the dog is required to do more training versus just a person that might, hey, I just want a dog to sit in my yard all day. So environment definitely affects the breeding habits for professional dog breeders, or just good old dog growing up in a shelter.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's so crazy.
I
mean, you don't even think about it. I mean, because like dogs with their different, like the different breeds, they're, like they say how, you need to know the breed and know if that's going to fit your lifestyle. I mean, there's just so many different aspects, and I think people don't really take that into consideration.
No, people don't really take it into consideration. I mean, they should, but they don't. I mean, because why would you have a Japanese Akita, a dog designed to tackle bears, in Brooklyn, New York?
Right.
Or why would you go get a Newfie when you're living in California?
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I think I gotta do it again. A wiener can go anywhere. I'm just kidding. God, stupid. Okay, so
you really like.
You know what? I'm sorry. It's too easy. It's too easy.
It's so easy.
I want to bring. Okay, so now we're gonna go around here, Toriano. Let's come back to Minnesota. You've been traveling all over the world. You're in Chicago right now. But let's talk about your Minnesota connection. How did you come to Minnesota? How long were you here for? Minnesota, yeah. So tell me about that.
I came to Minnesota because of you and our love for one another.
That you didn't even know about yet.
I didn't even know about
exactly.
Yet. I was hoping and wishing one day. Catwoman.
Wow. Exactly.
No, totally. I mean, how I ended up in Minnesota, how I ended up at Adolphus College in St. Peter, Minnesota. I couldn't even pronounce it for probably a long time.
Yeah, in St. Peter. Oh, you are so Minnesotan over there, too. They talk...
Super Minnesota.
Farm folks. Best potlucks.
Kirsten,
hot dishes.
Cara. Name it. Lots of Minnesotans. Nails. Everything. Eric Bergenstein, just tons of Minnesotans. I came there because my mom was a principal at a Lutheran school here, and both the pastors were graduates of Gustavus, so I heard about Gustavus all the time, and then I was like, hell no, I'm not going to Minnesota. I refuse. I applied to the irony is that I applied to 3 colleges. One here in Chicago, Roosevelt University, where my grandfather went. And then I applied to Howard University, which is the total opposite of Minnesota, which is like Swedish Lutheran, blonde, blue-eyed, or go to Howard, which is like, the most historical. That's where Puff Daddy went.
Ah, where did you want to go?
So, at the time, I got accepted to all 3, but Minnesota was offering the most money, and I ended up like, okay, fine. And I went there, but it ended up being the best decision of my life.
All right, tell me why.
Man, I love Minnesota. I mean, I ended up graduating and staying there for 6 years. I graduated. I was not the ideal student.
What'd you go to school for? What'd you go for?
Speech communications, broadcast media.
No way. See, you were meant to come. Okay. Yes.
I told you. I was willing this relationship.
Everything. Everything was.
I worked at KYC TV in Mankato, Minnesota.
What? I love it.
Yeah, I was back in the days. I'd go out to Eden Prairie, out to Lifetime Studio, Jimmy Jam, and Cherry Lewis, and like sit outside their door and like knock and just stare, like I want to come in there and work for you, And so Minnesota, Gustavus Adolphus is a phenomenal college. Send your children to Gustavus Adolphus College for sure. It was such a phenomenal experience. I ended up graduating 3.5 years there. Got to travel to Africa, Uganda, Nairobi while I was there. I had a job. I graduated with like 4 job offers. So I ended up graduating from there, and then got a job at Kilter Incorporated, which was a marketing firm downtown Minneapolis, designing men's watches and underwear, of all things.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kathy, I said underwear. I thought you would have had a wiener joke, but
you know what? No, see, when you lay one out that easy, I just get silent. Just to learn this.
They got to be more spontaneous.
Yes, exactly. I sensed it, and I'm just like, okay, too easy.
Okay, whatever. He's making fun of my fetish for wieners.
Oh, funny.
But I was in Minneapolis, and Minneapolis in '96 was amazing because I was working there, and as a joke, I was out one night at this club, or rather lounge, called The Lounge, and I was like, hey, you guys should let me work here. And they're like, you want to work here? Like, I told you I would be so amazing working here. I think I was probably drunk that night, and I left them like, here's my number, and they called me.
What?
And I got a job as a security, as head of security. It was so random.
Wow.
So random. So I did that for like 2, but the owner of the club was Johan. I can't remember his last name. This super amazing, over the top, just flamboyant, GQ smooth Greek named Johan.
Uh-huh.
In fact, I named my French bulldog Johan after him.
Oh.
Johan. So, because Johan ran all. Remember this? Let me see if you remember these clubs. You remember Glam Slams?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Positive. Completely.
Oh, you said that like you just had flashbacks, like.
Mm-hmm.
Wake up.
The flashbacks that I can remember. Yes. Okay.
You have to go home.
Mm-hmm. Kathy,
Glam
who are you and what are you doing sleeping in my backyard? Yeah, those kind of flashbacks. Yeah.
Who is this?
Oh, yes. The good old days I can't remember very well. Yes. Okay.
Right. So
Glam Slam.
Ran all. Yeah, Glam. People that might not remember, Glam Slam was Prince's club.
Right. Hello.
Back in the day, remember that?
Yes.
Ooh.
So you're talking to a girl that went to, grew up going to First Avenue, all that kind of stuff. So Norma Jeans.
Prince owned First Avenue, but Prince didn't own First Avenue.
No.
Prince owned Glam Slams.
That's right.
Glam Slams was a sheen.
I love it.
So I did that, and then it was interesting because I was like hot back then. I was like 22, working at the lounge, designing men's watches, meeting with buyers in New York and San Francisco and Switzerland, and then this woman named Regina Chatterno from New Orleans and Danny Glover approached me about running their club for them.
Wait, Danny Glover?
Lethal Weapon Danny Glover.
No.
It was so wild. It was freaking crazy. So I was like 22 years old working at this place called Biscuits and Blues.
Biscuits
right
and Blues. I love it.
It's where Brothers is now. I think Brothers is still there. I don't know if that's even still there, but it didn't last too long. But it had nothing to do with it. It was all, but it was a total amazing experience because I was like, man, I was like 22 running an entire club. I was like on, but
no. Okay, so you had some girlfriends then. They were like all over that, right?
How'd you know?
I just know.
Club owners and bouncers kind of make you a god.
Yeah. Yep. I've dated a couple bouncers and club owners in my day, Not lately.
I know.
Yep.
I know. They got the juice.
So, okay. So you did crazy Danny Glover. Okay, didn't know this. I'm just kind of floored for a minute. Okay, so you do that. You're 22.
I did that. It didn't work out, and then I started my own. One day I was like, I can do this. So then I rented out a huge warehouse on 501 First Avenue Northeast, right across from Ground Zero.
Wow.
Remember Ground Zero?
Yes.
Yeah, I had an underground warehouse right across from there. And then we painted the whole thing red. We had like 200 hanging red lights. And we did these little pinkies things. I had these beautiful women. And it's so easy to find beautiful women in Minnesota. Minnesota has some of the most beautiful women in the world, I have to say.
See, flattery is not only welcome, it's graded, and you're doing very well. Thank you.
Thank you. No, it's true story. They really take care of themselves in Minnesota. But then I had these beautiful women that would walk around downtown Minneapolis. They just hand you this card that had 2 G's on it and a phone number. So imagine this beautiful Minnesotan woman handing you a card with 2 G's on it. And the name of the club was called, you're going to like this, Cathy, Double G Spot.
I was literally going to go there, but, that is perfect.
Yeah, it was called the Double G Spot.
The Double G Spot.
Because the name of my company at the time was Struggle, so the logo was 2 G's. So we never called it Struggle, we called it Double G.
I love it. That's just So how long was that adventure for you then?
Man, that was 1997, and I did it I had it going for like a year. It was totally underground, and then I'll never forget it. His name was Neil. What was his name? I think it was Neil. But you had to know someone to get in, and I foolishly allowed a reporter for the Star Tribune to come there. And I'll never forget, it was a Friday. It was like a cold day in Minnesota. You ready for a sad story?
Yes.
It was a cold day in Minnesota.
No, once upon a time. Okay.
And then my dog.
Oh! I don't like this story already. What's happening? Okay.
There has to be drama to every interview. This is a Hollywood real story.
Yes.
So it's not funny. But I was out. I trained my dog to like scratch the door to go out. So he scratched the door, I let him out, he'd come back in, and he scratched again, which was not typical, but I was like, okay, fine. But it was a little boxer named Soldier. Like Soldier, like S-O-U-L, like soul, and then Jur.
Yeah.
So, and another dog named upstairs was a boxer, the exact same age. And I was like, he wants to play with the other boxer, and so I let him out, and he's playing. I hear a bang on my door, like, do. I'm like, what the heck? I go upstairs, I go outside, I open the door, she's like, turn it on, both the dogs get hit by a car. I was like, no way.
What?
Are you serious? Yeah, both dogs get hit by the car. And to top it off, I was so sad, I was devastated, right?
Oh, man.
Just crushed, just because it was me and my dog. And this is the dog that my girlfriend and I had gotten together. And I had just broke up with her maybe like a month before that. She moved back to Bozeman, Montana.
Oh, my God.
And so, man, the dog died. She's gone. And then on the front cover of the Star Tribune newspaper. Like, the biggest, like, every city has their main newspaper.
Right.
Right? New York Times, Chicago Sun-Times,
Strip.
LA Times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, is Toriyama Fanzoni, an underground club. I got a phone call from the director of licensing. They called me up, like, Mr. Fanzoni, I'd like to meet you. I'm like, okay. Like, I go down there and I never forget. He's like, get down there and like, oh, what is this? Like, hey, shut it down or you're going to jail.
Wow.
that was it of my club life. That had gone on for like a year. We had so many fun parties there, but we weren't doing anything crazy. It was called Red Lights and Poetry. We're doing poetry events. But anyway,
fabulous.
it's like I'm talking so much here.
Poor puppies, though. Okay.
Yeah.
So, didn't you get... So, you got to get me... You mentioned Prince a little bit. And Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis.
You know what? During that time period, while I was after I left the club with Danny Glover, when I was doing my club on my own, I was doing my own independent concert productions, and that's where I ended up meeting Kurt Johnson, Prince's drummer.
Yeah, I know Kurt.
And so I was helping him out with some record promotion things, and then I got a chance to work with the artist when he do his Minnesota concerts, like at the Target Center.
Wow.
So, want to hear my Prince?
I do.
So the artist he was forming, everyone just respected him. I don't know any one artist, and I've seen a lot of artists that everyone just totally respected, like they respected him, right?
Everybody.
Everyone, right? Especially like behind the scenes, like you didn't say anything bad, you just felt like everyone's on their super A game.
Right.
So he's performing, right? Target Center, and he slips and falls. And he breaks the cymbal guitar. And it was like, how you just took that gas, it was like, and then the production got like, find out what the fuck happened. Oh my God, break the guitar, hit the light, everyone is freaking out, right? And they were like, where's the fuck the runner at? I'm like, oh shit, I'm like, here I am. Like the runner's like the grunt, like the booking boy. Like, where's the runner? I'm like, here I am, sir. He's like, take the guitar to blah, 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 blah. You better not fuck up and break it anymore. I'm like, okay. So I got his guitar, and then I'm like, I put it in the backseat of my car. I remember like driving, looking at it like I was driving a baby.
Oh, wow. Like, well, you were.
Like I had like you would have thought I had like a person bleeding in the backseat getting to the emergency room. Like, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay. Don't fuck up. Just drive. Get the guitar repaired. Bring it back. Just
Oh my God!
But yeah, anyway. So I miss the artist. I saw the documentary the other day. It's so amazing.
I know.
Just how intuitive he was. Can I segue back into dogs through the artist?
Yes, do.
So
you can do whatever you want, dear.
When you think artists, you think great guitar players, and in that category is one of the greatest guitar players who I also love just as much as Jimi Hendrix.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So part of my California experience, I met Leon Hendrix's brother. My great friend Wes Shook one day is out in LA. He said, "Man, you want to go with me and meet Leon Hendrix?" I'm like, "Leon Hendrix, like Jimi Hendrix?" Like, he's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "For real, like kind of brother or real brother?" Like, no, his actual brother. It's like he only has one brother. Like, are you serious? Like, hell yeah, I want to meet Leon Hendrix.
Wow.
Right? It's like, this is so LA, right? So we're driving. I was like, damn, I'm gonna meet Leon Hendrix, Jimi Hendrix's brother. So we get to his house, saw the Jimi Hendrix stuff up and everything. And then I'm like totally want to fan out, but I don't, like being calm.
Yeah,
and
I know.
I'm just sitting there. I'm sitting there on the couch looking at all this. I'm like, man, I'm hanging out with Jimi Hendrix's brother. Like, how surreal is that? My friend Wes Shook was just a beast. Didn't even knows him. It's just amazing. Him and this other guy having this meeting about helping him produce this documentary he wants to do. And then not say anything to him, and then interacted, and it went just like this. He finally looks over at me and says, "What you do, Bubba?" And I was like, oh my God, he talked to me. He's like, I train dogs. And he looks down for a little bit, shakes his head, like, dogs. Like, then he had this pause and he was like, you know, dogs were sent here actually from God to train people. And then he went back to his meeting.
Wow.
I'm not even being dramatic. How he said it, it was like he channeled Jimmy himself. And, like, I was meant to be at that meeting just to hear that. And that has always stayed in my head that dogs were sent here from God to train people. And that came from the mouth of a Hendrix.
Wow.
I really do believe that. I mean, dogs are so extremely magical, and the power of dogs and the love of dogs. And I see a lot of correlation between my experience in the music industry and dogs, because dogs are just magic.
Exactly.
You know that.
Well, yeah, I have a magic wiener, so I do.
Oh.
See? When you don't expect it. Kind of like Dave Chappelle that way. So,
right. It's more natural for you.
Okay, so, how long were you here in Minnesota then?
I was in good old Minnesota for 10 years. I can't even believe that. I would never thought I'd be in Minnesota for 10 years. I love it that I was. I would do it all again. Well, I have so many great friends in Minnesota. I love Minnesota. It's such a, I love it. Love it.
Now we got the world's attention with the Super Bowl. So now, I'm going back. I'm going back to the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you, was Tom Brady, totally, was he, because he's from there?
Well, he's not from here. His mom is from here.
Oh, his mom?
So he grew up in California. I only know this because he talked about it and they showed it on the news. I
thought they were projecting his image of he was from there.
Yeah, so his mom is from here, so he would come and visit his grandparents every summer growing up.
Gotcha, but he's not a Minnesota boy.
No, he's not. So that's why he didn't win. So there.
Dang. Now, let me ask you a personal question, Cathy.
Yeah.
Are you a secret Tom Brady fan?
No.
No?
No. I mean, I respect him. I wanted him to win so he could be somebody different than anybody else. I think records are awesome to have and for people to shoot to, try to break. So but for him himself, I really could care less. It's just.
So you don't, and no one's judging you.
No,
it's only
exactly.
It's really just you and I on the phone. No one's hearing this at all.
Nobody.
You secretly have a Tom Brady screensaver.
Do I have a what?
Tom Brady screensaver.
No, yeah, you know what? I had to delete it because it was locking up my computer. No, you know who? Being a Vikings fan my whole life, I did have a secret crush on Brett Favre, and that was really hard for me because I couldn't say anything. Then
I think everyone had a crush on Brett Favre, the man's man.
Yeah, he is. And when he came to the Vikings, I could come out I love him. I love you, Brett Favre. Oh my God.
But Brett Favre is he's Wrangler jeans, cowboy boots, pickup truck. I don't need that NFL contract. He's just man.
Yeah.
But you know what I love about Tom Brady? So I threw this Super Bowl party, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I kept making all these postings of special guests, and then I put a picture of Tom Brady. There are so many model-ish pictures of Tom Brady. I don't think there's any. He should get, just because he didn't win the Super Bowl, I think there should be an award for man with most model-ish. When I say model-ish, there's a picture of him hugging a football with his shirt off.
Uh-huh. Well, see, I might become more of a Tom Brady fan. Maybe if I see that one. I might have to look for that.
You would 108% love him more than what you secretly do now.
I kind of think
you
secretly do too.
How you probably, something might happen. It's you can't walk around Minnesota with a Patriots jersey on, could you?
No, I don't even want to. I never would. It would be like kryptonite on me. It would burn me because I bleed purple. That's it. And then And then I love the Vikings. And then
You love the Vikings.
love.
You know what I never thought about?
What?
Ooh, in college, you know who I worked for?
Who?
I just thought about this. You probably know him. Remember this Viking? Matt Blair.
I know Matt Blair. Yes, I have his phone number. I could pick it up and call him, but sadly, let me tell you about Matt Blair. He's battling dementia from all the concussions. The sweet man. He came
No way.
Every time I would see him, he'd always have a big hug and a smile for me. I mean, we went out and had sushi together. I've had lunch with him at his house. He's a darling, sweet man. His wife, Mary Beth, is an absolute sweetheart. And I
that makes
had
me
him.
super sad.
Yeah, and he came to a golf tournament that I was helping with for Tyrone Carter. And he called me. He's like, "Okay, I'm here." And I'm like, "Okay, I'll see you when you come in." And he came in and I held my arms out to hug him. And he put his hand out and he says, "Hi, I'm Matt Blair." He didn't remember me.
Oh.
I was like, and I had to turn around and not look at him because the tears started rolling down my face. I was just like, oh my God, it happened. And he told me it was starting. Yeah.
And that TBI is real.
It is. And it's
real.
That's where we're going to get to that too. But real quick, talking back to football again, I want to hear about your Super Bowl party. Because, so did you, I mean...
If Tom Brady did not come to, I was so hoping that there was
I think Giselle she would have gotten mad at him. She'd say, "Quit looking over there." That's probably what she would have said.
I'm looking, Tom. You have pictures that are prettier than mine, and now you're looking too?
Yes, exactly. What would Tom be looking at if he was at that party? And I need to ask you because, I had a lot of people saying, so what's the attire for this party? What do you wear for that party? So do you send out invites and tell people attire? Or what's the deal? Tell everybody how there was...
I did what Cathy is alluding to, that there were naked people at the party.
Naked? There. I mean naked.
Well, you know what? I thought it'd be fun since, everyone counted my Bears out. We were a little upset that we didn't make it to the Super Bowl, but next year for sure. I'm already talking to some people about that.
Yes.
So we had the game really on the background, and we had DJ Little Joe, who was phenomenal. My friend Howard Lamar made the most amazing barbecue that, honest to God, it was gone before half. We bought like $300 worth of meat. It was gone.
Wow. How many people were there?
60 people consumed like 200 pounds of meat.
Wow.
Like before halftime. And they got there like within 2 hours. That's how great it was. It was so scrumptious. I had like one little chicken wing. Like when I got there, I was like, holy moly. But we also, my friend Taryn Jackson, peace out to Taryn Jackson if she's listening. And I know Tanya Howe, who's completely listening, hopefully. She's still up. She's probably recovering from the party. And Africa and 11, and actually the model 11 is from Minnesota, who's super fabulous. Taryn Jackson painted their bodies.
Wow.
Yeah, so it was like living art. So we watching Super Bowl in the background, eating barbecue, listening to awesome house music, watching Taryn Jackson paint these gorgeous women.
That is so neat. How many women were painted?
We had 4.
That's
hey, Catwoman.
Yes.
I want to put you on the spot right now.
Oh, okay.
Memorial Day party featuring you getting painted. We're gonna do your radio show at the same time.
Oh, right. Okay. You know what? We'll talk. That's
I'm
funny.
thinking that as a yes.
We'll see. We'll see. Non-committal. We'll see. That's funny. I love it. We'll do something, but I don't know if it'll be me getting painted, but we'll get some. You get painted. You do it. You can do it.
They would be too afraid of my wiener.
Just,
dog, my wiener dog. My
yes,
wiener dog
yes, that is hysterical.
I mean, if I did have a wiener dog, they wouldn't appreciate me being painted because the smell of paint. That's what I meant to say.
There you go. Not okay, so speaking of wieners now, which I have. He's a wonderful little pet. And talking about Matt Blair and his CTE from all the repeated concussions brings me to our next subject, because Toriano brought this, you guys, amazing opportunity to be able to help on so many different levels. And I'm just a little bit of a background. I have a military family background. Both my parents, my ex-husband, now my little baby boy, just got out of basic training.
Wow!
And he is a Cav Scout for the National Guard. So,
wow!
And he's going
Thank
to college.
Thank you for your service.
Yes, yes.
Thank you. That's a lot. A military mom. That's a lot.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's hard, and being a military wife. I mean, bless your mom. I mean, because guess what?
My mom was with my mom, Vietnam vet, and my grandmother too.
Wow. And
Korean War vet.
And the thing is I mean, they are 1% of our nation. People that they volunteer to do this, and then like like your dad was in Vietnam, and look what he came back to. Nobody supported them, and guess what?
Nobody.
My ex-husband, he was over in Iraq. I mean, he had a lot, and he's in the VA hospital right now. He could he's got
so
some things he's dealing with, and he's had traumatic brain injury, and so there's a reason why, like you said, you fell in love with me a long time ago because you were meant to come to me. We were meant to be on this show tonight. We're meant to be talking about all the things that we're talking about because it all comes into so many levels of help for the people that need the help and for the pets. Oh my gosh. So things that I'm passionate about.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I can joke around about, my wiener all the time, but you know what? In all seriousness, there's so many dogs out there that need a home. There's so many vets that need somebody there for them. And you said, they sense.
Can we say that true stat of how many suicides per day? Because I think a lot of people aren't really aware of that.
Go ahead.
We're averaging 26 men and women. And I just like to say, my ex-girlfriend and high school sweetheart, college sweetheart, great friends as an adult. She came back from the Air Force and she was never the same. And 3 years ago, she ended her life. And we're averaging 26 people. Thank you. Was 26. And sorry to her 13-year-old daughter, who at the time she left behind. She had to live with that. She came home to her mother laying in the bedroom after swallowing 2 bottles of pills. And
nobody should have to walk into that.
No, and 26, it's unacceptable. 26 people per day,
right?
That have put their life on the line to protect our fine country. We thank them for their service, and it's time to get back.
Right. It is. It's in one way. I mean, like you mentioned, I mean, dogs sense so many things. My mom's little dog, nobody likes. I have to introduce you to Mickey. See what you think of him. He's a Papillon mix and just kind of demonic. But you know what? He loves my mom, and it's like he can sense when something, like if her blood sugar's off, if it's going low, he kind of lets her know. So you were brought to help a very good cause, and we've got like 9 minutes left, so we need to talk about this because ultimately this was the most important thing for me to want to talk to you about tonight, because you and I are going to work together on this, and make some differences really quickly. But tell me about what's going on with the vets and what we're going to be doing.
Well, the quick backdrop and the motivation for this program really comes down to back in 1978, there was a little black boy named Toriano Sanzoni who was sitting in his room afraid because him and his mother would fight. You know, my father would hit my mother. She'd wake up, have a black eye. I'd wake up, have a black eye. And that was a super dark period for my mother and I. She got divorced and moved out. And then later on, I would reflect upon how me being in the room with that dog saved me and helped me become who I am. So now, as a 43 years old, with all my dog experiences, all those stories that I told you, all the people I've met over the last duration of my life, now I have the ability to train dogs to save the lives of men and women that are suffering from PTSD, MST, military sexual trauma, which a lot of people aren't aware how prevalent that is happening right now.
Yes, I have a friend that has that too. Uh-huh.
And TBI, traumatic brain injury. So
we're
working with a prominent university, Rush University, to supply service dogs to men and women that qualify for the program, and to train them, to train their dog, and to use those dogs as a little 5-year-old told me in the kindergarten class 2 weeks ago, that dogs are magic. So we're teaching people how to unlock the magic in dogs, and those people specifically, the fine men and women that serve our country every day that volunteer. It's no longer a draft. That's the other thing. 2 people, they aren't drafted. They're voluntarily going into a place that they're not going to come out the same, so that you and I can sit here and joke and have fun and talk about a lot of different things.
Right. Nope. And my little boy, he. And
your son's in it right now.
Yeah, I mean, and he was trying to get in. He was trying to get me to sign him up before he was 18, and I wouldn't do it. And he kept saying, "Mom, I promise I won't turn out like Dad." It's like, no, I know you won't. And I mean, and my ex-husband, I mean, is a very good man, and he's going through things. And if he did mention that he could get a service dog, but he doesn't have the money. So
and that's what we want to do is help veterans, because unfortunately right now the VA for the entire country supplies only about 100 dogs for the entire country. It's almost, and there's over 23 million vets in the United States of America.
And that's so sad. I mean, that's embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, for the amount of money that we spend on war, that we can only provide that many dogs, that small amount, especially when there's all kind of dogs that can, I'm not even talking about to the high level of training to be, complete service dogs that are training on light switches and opening doors. We're talking about a dog that's super well trained that can keep somebody company at night, because how it works, how a person gets to this point, people get iced, they get back, and then they're withdrawn, from the world. I lived in Kenya for 6 months. The reentry shock is real, and that was me there as a student. So it was really tough for me to readjust coming from Nairobi, Kenya, to back home in Minnesota. So imagine a man or woman living in a war zone there with your life on the line and coming back. How do you just automatically readjust to that when you've survived the worst of the worst? But dogs are medicine that can help people, and that's where we're looking to get people to want to donate, to the program, to the Rush Road Home program.
Rush Road Home program.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a phenomenal project where the actual website is roadhomeprogram.org.
And it's RODE or ROAD?
Yep, ROAD, homeprogram.org.
Okay. And so they sought you out to help train the dogs. How many are you working with right now?
I'm sorry?
How many dogs are you training for this right now?
Right now we have 15 dogs in our dog boot camp program that we'll have, and we have 15 veterans we're working with to train them for that. And then we're just really super excited about
God bless
helping
you. God
people.
bless you for that.
God bless you. I mean, you and I, we have that in common. We saw the effects of what the military had on our families.
Right.
My girlfriend Tanya, her ex-husband was a vet. And she saw the abuse that she underwent because she dealt with a former military. These are men and women that are trained to the highest degree to end life. And they've seen a lot of different things of them. For them to come back home and to have a normal relationship, quote unquote normal.
Right.
I mean, it's tough to have a normal relationship when you're not military.
Exactly, right? What is normal anyway? Right.
What is normal? So you throw, secondary PTSD is real.
Yes.
That's a super duper real thing, and for people like everyone, my mother, my grandmother, you, and all the men and women that are spouses or girlfriends, my assistant, Nicole Decker, her boyfriend, he just signed up for the Marines. And she's been super sad, going through all these different emotions, so war affects us all in some different ways.
It does.
And it's going to happen, it's going to be there, so we might as well combat that with dogs that are medicine to help ease the pain and to keep people alive and make it through every day when they get home.
How much does it cost to get one of these dogs trained for the vets?
I mean, approximately, it ends up being anywhere from $11,000 up to $25,000, depending upon the amount of training on the dog. You can typically just average out that it costs about, $130 per day to train a dog. So that's where you're feeding them, watering them, taking them for walks, and the amount of manpower. That's the biggest thing, because you can't just say, oh, hey, you're a service dog because you can sit down, stay, come, heal. No. And understand, you have to take them out to the airport. You got to get them out to different places. You have to test the training, and most importantly, you have to train the trainer. So there's a lot of hand holding. There's a lot of baby steps that come into play with the knowledge transfer to their new home, their new mom or dad or their veteran. So it adds up fast. You're talking about close to have it done properly. You're talking about over 6 months to a year's worth of training.
Wow.
So you eat that budget up pretty fast.
So let's do this, because now we're running out of time. Where can we have people go to get a hold of you to find out how to make a donation? This is going to be a tax deductible donation to be able to help our vets. Where do we want them to go?
We want them to go, to www.roadhomeprogram.org. And they can fill out contact information. They can send an email to the website there.
Okay.
Or they can contact Ryan Brown, the director of the Road Home Dog Program, at 312-942-8387. 312-942-8387.
Okay, so Toriano, I adore you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And make sure when you guys call in, contact, you make sure that you let them know you heard it here. And we're going to be making a difference in the lives of vets. Be watching for all of our social media on this. And Toriano, wow.
Catwoman. Hey, what's up?
Good
What's
night.
up? Coming out.
All
Hey,
right.
radio show. Work on that.
We will. All right, love. Good night, everyone.
Good night. Ciao,
Bye.
bella.